Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today on our Lightworker Secret to Success. We are excited to have Harlan Bell with us today. He does a lot of different things from being a Reiki master, quantum healer, paranormal investigator, works with pyramid energy. So it's going to be a fun interview today. So we'll just kind of start cut questions and let people as they think of things ask you questions, and feel free to just add a little bit as you think of something you want to add into it, Harlan. I know one thing I was fascinated with when we were last week traveling together was what you were doing with your pyramids, and when you had told me how you had actually diverted tornadoes using your pyramids. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I've been doing some experimental work with it. I mean, I have to lead you back to the beginning of the process. I was already doing a lot of experimentation with pyramid energy just in visualization through my healing practice, using the visualization techniques while I'm healing, while I'm doing hands-on healing or distance healing with other people, because of my research through what Nikola Tesla was talking about through his pyramid research and the numbers research with it. And it was working in all of my healing practices. And then I ran into David Wilcock on Gaia TV talking about the Russians reverse engineering the pyramids and the research that they were doing, and it really intrigued me. And they were talking about how it was diverting weather. And I live in the tornado capital of the United States, Moore, Oklahoma. So we get the biggest and the baddest that come through here. And I guess it was 2012 or 13 that I was hearing the research and looking into the research. And then we got hit with that big F5 that was almost an F6. There is no such thing as F6, but it was off the charts. It came within 4 blocks of my house.
Wow.
The deal is they laid down the line and they said that my neighborhood was going to be decimated. And the line was right over the top of my house. And I hadn't set up a pyramid as of yet. So I visualized the biggest Giza pyramid in my mind's eye, covering my whole neighborhood. And my neighborhood is 4 blocks south and 12 blocks north. So I put it right over our neighborhood in a visualization. The minute I set that, the weather people said, "Oh, wow, it just diverted. It's no longer going to Southgate. Southgate neighborhood is saved." That's on their video as they were doing it live stream, and it actually diverted straight east and mostly went through a cemetery, a radio station, on the backside of a church, and that's where it then hit the 7-Eleven where the people were killed in the 7-Eleven. But it saved the whole neighborhood. It just mainly went through a blank field, and then it died out after it got on the other side of the highway just past the hospital.
Wow.
And then when I realized what it had done, that's when I said I got to have one of those pyramids. So I built myself a Russian style pyramid, which is a 72-inch, 72-inch this way. It's not like the Giza, the big fat one. So it's a tall, skinny one, and it's about 6 foot tall. I use it over my healing table, and it helps me to help other people work through their shadow work. Because ultimately, when you're having healing issues, you've got some shadows that you need to deal with, and the way that the pyramid works is the area where they're laying on the table is actually the king's chamber area of the pyramid, which is where they did shadow work. Wow. So they're looking at themselves in their meditation while they're being on the table for the healing. They're looking at their own energy. They're looking at themselves, and they're learning how to forgive themselves in order to heal. So that's the main reason I built that there. And then I started realizing, okay, it's diverting the storms. Once I put it up in my healing room, I've got crystals everywhere. I mean, I do crystal therapy also. So my room is loaded with crystals, and it charges my crystals. It keeps them clean. I don't have to clean my crystals constantly. I don't have to charge them because it's like the pyramid cleanses them and charges them. So I can get done working with somebody and lay all my crystals underneath the pyramid, and they'll get cleaned and charged right off the bat, and then just put them back on the shelf for the next person. But I started noticing that every storm that came to us was either getting to about 36 blocks away and then going around us. The splitting in two and going around us. Or it would divert and go south of us, or it would divert and go north of us, but it would never come straight at us. And anytime it came straight at us, 36 to 48 blocks away, it would either hit like it was hitting a brick wall and then just drop out, or it would hit a brick wall, dissipate, go 36 to 48 blocks the other side of us, and then reform. So that's really right along lines with everything that the Russian scientists have said with their research, that it diverts storms. It knocks the intensity down and it diverts it. I've noticed this year during our season that the town south of us is getting hit really hard. They've never been hit hard before. Tornadic and large hail and things like that. And I'd really like to find somebody down there that I could set up a pyramid in the middle of their town, just to see if I can divert it from there too.
Nice.
Cool. Cool.
So you divert
Right.
the tornadoes, and then you use this for shadow work, and so
And for healing also.
for healing. And so what do you have to do as a practitioner and a healer? Do you have to do anything, or does someone just lie down and they're underneath the pyramid and it just starts coming up?
Actually, I lay them, I won't lay them under the pyramid until I actually do an assessment, see where they're at. If they've got way too much work to do, I won't even put them under the pyramid first.
How do you determine that, Harlan? How do you determine how much work they need?
I use the eyes. I look somebody straight in the eyes and I see what's going on. The eyes are the window of the soul. So when I look into somebody's eyes, I can see what's going on.
I'm gonna come fly down to you.
Yeah, are you? Okay. Where are you at?
Seattle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the eyes are the window to the soul. So when you look directly into somebody's eyes, you can see everything you need to see. And that's the one thing, when you find somebody that won't look you directly in the eyes or won't keep the gaze in the eyes, they usually have way too much shadow work to do to stick them under there. It might cause them to go crazy.
Yeah.
So really, you got to prepare people. So if they're ready for it, then I'll put them under the pyramid. If they're not ready for it, I will work with them to get them ready for it. But ultimately, they need to be the judge. Are you ready to move forward in your spiritual life? Are you ready to be the light worker you're meant to be? Because everybody here is meant to be a light worker. I mean, I've claimed light worker most of my life, and if you look on my Facebook page, it says Harlan Bell, light worker.
Okay.
I've had that since I've had a Facebook.
Nice.
But I've been a light worker my whole life. I was born a natural healer. My mom was a natural healer, and she saw in me that I was a natural healer. When she was working for Pacific Bell, she had a gentleman come from Japan to actually train her for the job she was getting ready to take when she moved from operator to frame tech. And he just happened to be a Reiki master teacher. And she talked to him a little bit about me, and he trained her, and he did my first, second, and third attunements, and then she did my master attunement. So as a Reiki master. So by the time I was 15, I was a Reiki master.
That's so awesome. I just sent you a friend request.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's
And then
awesome.
I've done massage therapy, and I incorporate the pyramid with my massage therapy also. It just depends on who it is I'm working on and what they're hoping to get. Most everybody that comes to me is wanting to cut cords, wanting to balance their chakras, wanting to open their Kundalini chakra, bringing the Kundalini to the crown. They want to get ready for their light worker abilities, because that's the time we're in right now. We are moving, we're almost completely out of the third dimension.
Yeah.
And that's why the craziness. That's why what's going on out there, and there's too many people that are waking up to the fact that they want more than just what they've had, and they know there's more out there, so they're reaching out. And that's what I find is most of the people, I don't advertise. It's word of mouth. People come to me because of word of mouth.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you work over the phone, or do you ever do remote, or do you just do in person?
I have done remote, and it does work. There was a young lady that I knew from Norman, the town south of me, who went to Malaysia, and she wound up getting into a cab and whacking the top of her head and got a huge goose egg and the pain. And she sent me a message and asked me for a healing. And I asked her, I said, so where are you at? And she told me, and I just sent it, knowing her name. I just visualized her name. I visualized her face because I already knew her. And I sent the energy to her, and within 6 minutes, now that's halfway across the world. Within 6 minutes, she was feeling the energy coming into the crown of her head. So really, it doesn't take long for it to go in distance.
Yeah, because I one time I had cords pulled out or cut out long distance, and I have a friend who might need your services.
Okay.
Someone I know. Yeah, but it would be remote.
Yeah, I really do like to actually look into somebody's face. Yeah, if I could do like a on the phone, you know, what do they call that? The
video chat,
duo, or any of those where I can get a video and actually look at them. That helps me get to know who they are more. And it doesn't matter where they're at in the world, as long as I look into their eyes and see what's going on, I know what to send, and the energy is going to find them no matter where they're at. It doesn't matter, but I like better looking into their eyes first.
so fascinating. I love it.
Did you
Harlan,
have an imaginary friend as a child?
What's that?
Did you have an imaginary friend as a child?
Oh, I always did. Yeah.
Yeah.
All my brothers and sisters did too.
Really?
My children at home do too.
Wow.
Harlan,
So I've got 3 under 5 at home and another one on the way.
Wow.
Wow.
And they're
Harlan,
all geniuses.
I've got 2 questions for you. First of all, how big is the pyramid that you're talking about that you've made?
Let me unplug my loudspeaker here and take you with me to my other room is my healing room, and it is kind of a mess. This is my office, but don't mind the disorganization right now. I haven't had a client in there in a couple of weeks because we've been traveling. But I'm doing some experimental work also with seeds. So that is the pyramid up right there and to the base. So it's 6 foot. And this room is, like I said, it's kind of disoriented right now, but there's my crystals. And this is like my healing room and my work room all at the same time.
Nice.
Amazing,
And
amazing.
then what
I am
material did
doing-
you use that with, Harlan?
That is PVC. So these
That's
are
huh?
dead seeds.
Uh-huh.
And I've been using them. I've been putting them under the pyramid. And this next fall or next spring, I'm going to plant them. I've already done some videos because I'm working with the Pyramid Science Research Foundation also. And I told them I was going to do an experiment on bringing dead seeds back to life, which is something that the Russian research did also. They revived dead seeds from Chernobyl that had the DNA completely twisted and they were no good anymore. And they put those seeds in the base of the pyramid and regenerated them. And they actually grew, and they grew 400 times better and 400 times more product.
Wow.
And what made you choose PVC and not copper? Because I thought for sure it'd be copper.
Well, the Russian researchers, they built all of the ones that they built in all around Russia, including the 144-foot one in Moscow, out of PVC.
Wow.
And they found that when they reverse engineered the pyramids in Egypt, they reverse engineered those. They found that as long as you use the same exact material and don't add anything else to it, you're going to have an energy that's going to do exactly what you want it to do.
Yeah.
So like the pyramids in Egypt, they are made out of granite, all granite.
Mhm.
There's nothing else in there. That's why they have the energy they do.
Okay.
Some of the others are made out of sandstone. That's only thing that's there. So my buddy, Dr. Johnston, who is my partner in the Universal Holistic Arts Foundation, he actually made one out of metal, out of sucker rod, down when he lived down in Texas. And it was, I can't remember if he said it was like 20 foot tall or something like that, but it had an amazing energy. It was very, very strong, but it was all made out of the metal. So whatever it is you're going to use, you need to use it all the same. And it's really hard to do copper tubing and have connectors. You have to actually make special connectors out of copper in order to do that, to make it work properly. And a lot of people have done these copper with PVC connectors. They don't work properly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So would you just use the PCV connectors on the bottom without using glue?
I don't use any glue. I use PVC screws to tighten it down.
Okay.
And then that way I can take it apart and move it wherever I need to move it.
Gotcha.
So when I go to a holistic fair, a health fair, I
Yeah.
take my pyramid down and I take it with me
Okay.
and I set it back up. The only thing is you just need to know where due north is.
Yeah. I'm pretty good with directions, so.
So then
Because
I'm
it
just
has a
curious
lot
on when you had
Sorry,
it
go
all
ahead.
coming up to the top, how does it connect in the top with PVC? Because that's a tough connection as well, is it not?
I'll bring it in here and show you. Hold on.
Okay. Sorry.
Pyramid power. I've heard before from many people it works.
Yeah, so cool. I love
Keeps
it.
food from, deteriorating, keeps things fresh. There's a lot to it.
It's really cool.
So myself and Dr. Johnson, we have a one of those what are they called? We want to get a bigger one of them, the one that actually prints out houses and whatnot. So we've got a small one that actually prints out. So what we did is we printed this, and it has the holes, and it's also got a spot where we can stick a crystal in the center
Oh.
to energize it even more. But once you have this set on the top of the pyramid and the pyramid set at a due north position, it's immediately producing a vortex, that goes, like DNA, but it creates a DNA vortex down through, all the way down through into the ground. Now, I've noticed, excuse me. Oh, excuse
Bless
me.
you. Bless you.
I've noticed that when I take my pyramid down, that I can set up a table where the pyramid was, and I can put my compass on the table. And in the center of the pyramid, it's due north. But when I move it to one side or the other side, so when I have the table set where the pyramid was, the center of the table, it's due north. When I move it to the other side of the table, so it's a 4-foot table, move it about 4 foot this way, 2.5 foot that way. So when I move it to the other side of the table at the 2.5 foot mark, the due north actually moves to southeast. And when I move it back to the middle, it goes back to north. And then I move it back to this side, it goes to southwest. So it shows that there's an actual vortex right there where that pyramid was. And that vortex will stay there for a long period of time. I've taken the pyramid down for a month and still not had any bad storms. And when they had bad storms coming, they would still divert from us. I don't like having it down when it's stormy season. I like to keep it put up. But in my research, I've been taking it down lately just to see the storms and the storm paths and documenting it.
Amazing. Well, that's very, very fascinating and makes sense on what you're saying. And I love pyramids, by the way. So yeah, I'm totally fascinated by all of this.
Well, even this little piece right here,
Yeah.
this is exactly the same as that 6-footer in there. So due north, set it due north, and you've got a pyramid vortex energy.
Wow.
Now, have you studied like the Egyptian pyramids and pyramids in different parts of the world or at all to kind of get a clue as to what that was all about? Do you think they were energy related?
Yes, they all are energy related. They all have an energy. My like I said, my partner, Dr. Johnson, he's actually been in the Great Pyramid. He's laid in the King's Chamber. And he tells me about the energy that's in there. I'd love to go do it sometime. But he's got the connections with the Egyptian government. I don't. So,
Gotcha.
They don't let everybody in, I've heard.
no, they don't let everybody in.
Yeah, and they're very protective of some of the secrets that could be disclosed, I guess, that, Casey talked about and different psychics have mentioned.
Right. And that's the other thing is I've got another very good friend who actually got to go in the basement of the Vatican, which is something I'd love to do too, because she got to see things that nobody else has ever saw.
Wow.
I'm just wondering, Harlan, if you're saying it works with tornadoes, I wonder how it would work like with earthquakes.
We have had some earthquakes before. I put this up here in Oklahoma, and I think the earthquakes we were having were because of the fracking, the wastewater injection. They're still doing wastewater injection, but we haven't had any earthquakes that I can think of since I put the pyramid up.
I'm wondering if that might be a good idea for you, Adam.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
And where are you at?
I'm in Costa Rica.
In Costa Rica, okay.
Yeah.
And you guys have some pretty big earthquakes down there?
Not major by any means, maybe like 3 or 4 on the Richter scale. We've had one since I've been here, but you can barely notice it, but they do have some earthquakes. We do have 2 active volcanoes in Costa Rica, right? So I think that's also part of it.
Yeah, that is part of it. Right now, the earth is is moving a little bit. I've documented since I put the pyramid up that our due north has moved 40 degrees to the east.
Mhm. I did
And
know that.
then some of the other documentation I've been seeing is that the North Pole is actually in Siberia, Russia right now. Here comes my children. They busted the gate and came in. I said, Daddy's busy. Uh-huh. I guess they had to go to the bathroom and they decided they were going to come in here.
That's awesome.
So Harlan, I got into energy healing because first I'm an angel. I'm an angel activator, and I was here to help people who are stuck in addiction. So what would you do if you what do you do with people that are in addiction?
Well, I will tell you my story is I am pretty much the same as you because I've had 3 near-death experiences before I wound up in addiction. I spent a lot of my life in active addiction, from alcohol and mostly pills, opioids.
Yeah.
And I got clean. Let's see, I got sober 37 years ago, and I got clean 28 years ago. And it was a process because my angels showed up to me and told me I had more to go and that I had more things I needed to do and that I needed to kick it in gear. And so I've been helping other people with addiction my whole life. Most of the people I know that I work with are having some types of addictions. And what I know about King Solomon's keys, and because I've done a lot of studying on that, that most of these addictions are minor demonic possessions. So I work on that. I work on exercising the minor demonic possessions from the person, but I don't do it unless they come to me.
Yeah.
They have to come to me and be ready to do it, and then they have to actually look me in the eyes and state that what they want, and then I will do the work. It's their shadow that they need to get over with.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that we all have light and dark within, and it's what we focus on what we're going to get. And as long as they stay focused on the dark, they're going to continue to have that addiction. Once they say that I want something different and they start introducing the light will always win over the dark.
Yeah.
So it's really up to the person and their soul, their higher self. I will look somebody in the eye and I will connect with higher self. If higher self says it's okay to work, I'm going to work on them. You know, if higher self says they still got some things to do, I'll give them some homework and let them do their homework and then come back and see me and I'll reassess.
Do you think so? I just moved into this house and it's in a really heavy population of individuals that are homeless and have a lot of mental health issues and a lot of addiction. Like literally it's just surrounding us. And there's like a park just, I don't know, like just right within across the street basically. And a lot of them live there around the different areas. So I'm just wondering if I did something, if I had like a pyramid in my yard, would that help the energy or would that be more scary for them?
Well, as long as they're not setting underneath the pyramid, getting in the King's Chamber area, it's not going to be too scary for them. But a pyramid set in love and light is going to create more love and light. And so I've noticed that since I've set before I set mine, my neighborhood was pretty, it's always been a good neighborhood, don't get me wrong, but we've had some undesirables. And I say undesirables in a loving way. But we've had some that were very undesirable, that were in massive addictions or whatever they were going through. And it's not for me to judge.
Right.
But what I did was I set the pyramid in love light. And then I've noticed as long as I'm not judging what's going on out there with them, and I'm staying in the assumption of the neighborhood is healing, the community is healing, the earth is healing, and I'm putting that all into my pyramid energy, into the love light, that everything changes.
Yeah.
And the people that are suffering out there start changing.
Yeah.
So when I focus on what they're doing and everything, I'm focusing the wrong direction, and I'm creating more of the same.
Right. So I feel like I was placed here to help. And I don't have any judgment against them. I wish they'd pick up their garbage or not lay it in front of my house. But I'm like, do I need to give out dollars? Like, can you please not put your garbage outside my house? But
I went through that same thing a couple of years ago, and you know what I did? I stopped focusing on all the garbage that's out there, and I started sending love to them, and then picking up my own yard and love, even though it came from their yard, picking up my yard, and then all of a sudden, I don't have garbage in my yard anymore, and it's not blowing into my yard anymore. The street is clean. So ultimately, it's not that I was judging people. It's that how do I word this? Whatever they were doing struck a chord within myself, and I had to do the internal work myself in order for them to get better. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you. When did you choose? At what age did you say you chose to get clean and sober? Did you tell us the age?
Actually, I was 27 when I got sober, and I was 33 when I got clean. And it's been a spiritual experience. I mean, I didn't. What was I? I was 17 when I joined the military. So that's really when I started drinking.
Yeah. You just needed that. In my experience working with people and people in addiction, my experience is that most of them are angels, and they're just having a really hard time maneuvering in this 3D experience. It's really hard for them.
Right. It is. The 3D experience is very heavy. Very heavy. And once they start moving out of that 3D experience into the 4D, it lightens up a lot. And then, but see, my big thing is I was moving into the 4D experience when I was like 16. And then when I moved into the Army and they put me in the infantry, it's like, I don't want to hurt people.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to hurt people. And so then I started drinking, and I fell into that addiction. And I stayed there for a long time. It wasn't until I was 33 that my angels they never left me, but my angels showed themselves to me again. When I got clean. And said, hey, we're glad you're back.
Right.
They're not going to stop you from doing anything. They're going to let you experience whatever you need to experience.
Right.
So the way I look at it is my whole lifetime has been an experience, and it's an experience that I needed to experience in order to help others better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you've got quite the healing techniques, and it seems like you've fully stepped into your power and just really, owned being a healer, because that's who you are, right? It's awesome. It's amazing.
And then, it's like I got crystals here by my desk too. I love my crystals. Have you ever heard of the golden selenite?
Let me see what it looks like. I feel like I might have a piece of that.
It's golden in color, and I don't know that you can see it with this light, but I've got a piece that's probably a $10,000 piece out in the living room. That's a matrix that is probably that big around and that tall. That's just matrix of it going up in.
Wow.
This is a self-cleansing stone. And any other stone that would pull in negative vibrations that you set on this stone would clear itself just by being on this stone.
Yeah, I think I have a piece like that. It's real thin and it fits in my hand, and I actually got it for cord cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do work for that. It's an angelic stone.
Yeah.
And what they say is that is found mostly in, it's
Is it-
found in a few other places in the world, but the majority of it is
Montana?
found. No, the majority of it is found in the Bible Belt, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas Panhandle.
Okay. A gal was telling me about it and I
Mhm.
couldn't remember where she said, but she said
And
her friend had it in his backyard.
Grows in sheets.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're stair stepping.
Wow.
So they look at that as a lot of people look at that as the stairway to heaven. When the
Yeah.
stairway to heaven fell, it fell in the Bible Belt.
Oh,
Mm.
wow. Wow.
Interesting.
So cool. How did you get your I don't want to say obsession, but how did you fall in love with crystals?
Oh, I've always loved crystals. My mom used to take us out every summer to, we lived in California, so we went to the rivers and I was picking up stones and bringing stones home all the time. I would find a stone, I'd stick it in my pocket. We go home. Ow! Oh,
Sorry.
that was loud.
Sorry.
Um, and I would pick up stones and not tell my mom about it, and she would find them in the laundry, in the washer and dryer, and she would sometimes come unglued. You're gonna tear up my washer and dryer with all these stones. Please clean your pockets out.
Yeah.
But she always, she never actually chewed me out for picking up stones. She encouraged it.
Mm.
And a lot of the times I would find jade, obsidian, I mean, different semi-precious stones in the rivers, and those were the ones I was picking up.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Anytime we go on vacation and we go to like a little souvenir shop, my girls, all of my girls, I have 4 daughters, and they always ask right where they go, Mom, I want to get these little rocks. I'm like, okay, get them. And they, sift through them and get all the ones
Yeah.
that they're attracted to.
Those
And
are what they call crystal children.
Yeah. And I get them, and anywhere we go, they have crystals in their room that they've chosen themselves, and they love them.
Yeah, it's the energy. They feel the energy in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
But,
I could
yeah, I've
talk to
been
you all
picking
day
up-
long, Harlan.
and I can talk about this all day long. I love all of this. I love what I do.
Yeah.
So
Well, I definitely want to meet up with you, have a session with you. I don't know if we could do it via, I don't have Duo, but I have Facebook Messenger or, or FaceTime or whatever. But I'd like to experience the pyramid as well. So that would be really cool to have that on my to-do list in the future. Yeah. We're opening up a holistic healing center in Costa Rica. So we're trying to get all these ideas
cool.
on what we need there to have people come and get healing.
Well, I've got another friend that is opening up a holistic healing center in Belize,
Mm,
and she is doing the same thing.
mm. You might want to talk to her. We can
Yeah.
get some ideas.
Yeah, you might want to talk to her. I've got her information.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. We can have a Zoom call together.
And myself and Dr. Johnson are going to be opening up a holistic healing center here in Oklahoma. But it's
Nice.
going to be more than a healing center. It's going to be an educational, so higher
Yeah.
education. He can indoctrinate people.
Mhm.
He's still a full-fledged doctor, surgeon, and teacher, so he
Okay.
can teach. And what we're doing is going to be putting together a college of natural healing.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
And with the College of Natural Healing, we're going to be doing botany and everything from the start to the finish of how to utilize the medicine and how to make it into medicine and what it's good for.
Okay, that's awesome. I love that.
so I don't want to take a lot of your time. Does anybody else have a question? Any other questions that you just can't wait to get answered?
I
And
could
I'll be
probably,
glad to come back anytime too.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah, you
gosh.
can share some more of your insights because that was fascinating.
Yeah.
yeah, I could probably talk to Harlan for days. I'm
Right.
just so fascinated by all this.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Harlan, for coming. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you for doing all the work that you're doing to help raise humanity.
Well, and thank you all too, because it's not just me, it's a team effort.
Mhm.
For sure.
I mean, there's, one other thing I wanted to say before we leave, but in the biblical, it talks about the 144,000 angels. A lot of
Mhm.
people had looked at that as there was going to be 144,000 light workers coming to earth and healing humanity, but it's actually more than that in light workers. It's the ones that are awakening their kundalini.
Mhm.
Because if you look back into the ancient times and you look at the petals of the lotus from the root chakra to the crown chakra, the petals of the lotuses from the root to the crown equal 144,000. So it's the awakening of the kundalini in the light workers. It's not necessarily 144,000 light workers.
Hmm. Interesting.
I know one of the things that we hear a lot is how do you manifest? And what does it look like when you're ascending from 3D to 5D? What happens? How do you know that that's happening?
Well, I have manifested things before where it's been like instantaneous, where it's been a few weeks, and then there's things that I'm still trying to manifest that I've been trying to manifest for a lot of years. And I think the key word is I'm still trying to manifest that. It's look at it as you've already got it with the end in sight, and feel it, taste it, touch it, know that it's there, know that that reality is already set, and that it's mine, and then it manifests itself. That's probably the easiest way I can explain that. And I've recently been listening to another book, and I don't know if I can name drop, but another one of Neville Goddard's books on the power of assumption. Instead of the power of or instead of like the law of one and things like that, they look at manifestation in a different way. He looks at it as the law of assumption, assuming that you've already got the end right in front of you. It's in your life. You have it. That is when I've noticed that I've manifested things quicker than I've done with anything else.
I'm a big Neville fan. I love
Yeah,
him.
he's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that power of assuming. Well, I always used to say I expect things. I just expect it. Like I have an expectation that this is going to happen. I don't know when, but I have an expectation. And these guys all know that I said it a while ago that I have an expectation of my next car to be a red Tesla Model X.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
I have no idea on how that's going to happen, but I have that expectation. And so I moved to Costa Rica looking for a car, knowing that right now there's just no way I could afford to buy that car. So I'm expecting it to come in some way. And so I still haven't bought a car yet here in Costa Rica since I've been here because I'm expecting that car to show up and I just didn't space for it.
It's like with me right now, I am assuming that I am life coach in the life business, and I am creating that. And if you listen to Neville Goddard, I am is your imagination. So if you can hold that visualization and feel the assumption already being fulfilled, you don't need to know how it's going to come. It will show up.
Right.
Exactly. So exciting. Harlan, I'm sure we could probably talk all day and all night about this. I know you're busy, so we don't want to keep you any longer. We're definitely going to, if it's okay with you, share your info on how people could connect with you.
Okay.
Is there any kind of merchandise or any kind of coaching programs or anything that you offer that anyone listening to this might want to get in contact with you for?
Well, I do coach also, so I coach people. But mostly, if they're local, I would see them in person. If they're not local and they want to get in touch with me, I don't do the Facebook stuff. But I'm getting ready to invest in the Zoom meetings, so I would be able to send links that way where I can actually work one-on-one with people that way, or in a group setting, either way. Other than that, then is my email address, and I do many different things. I mean, it's in my bio, so I will do almost everything that's in my bio, either here or distant.
Okay. Cool. Well, we'll grab that information and we'll pass it along to everyone, and we'll see if anyone gets in contact with you.
All righty. Namaste. Thank you.
Pamela, do you want to wrap everything up?
So thank you guys for being here today. We appreciate you following. If this is the first time you've been on our channel and seen the live workers to success, if you like this video, please go ahead and like it, follow our channel. Hit that little notification bell down there so that you get notified when we go live again. And if you really like the video, share it with somebody, because we love to have our information out there. And there's so many different people that we interview, and they always have amazing parts to share with us. Again, thank you all for being here. We appreciate you.